Wrapping up in the federal racketeering and case against Sean Diddy Combs. Cassie Ventura, Sean Combs' former girlfriend and the prosecution's key witness, was back on the stand for a second day with more explicit testimony.
I was in the courtroom where this trial is taking place, and I was sitting right behind Cassie Ventura's husband, and I watched him as he sort of glared at Sean Combs at times, at the family, especially during the period of time where the prosecution showed photos of 13 men, different races, predominantly black men. These are all men that Cassie was able to identify in terms of names sometimes and where these freak-offs, these alleged freak-offs took
the head if I was down.
When she walked in there, Rachel, head held high and did not make any eye contact with Sean Combs. The moment she opened her mouth, you could see that Combs was listening intently to everything that she had to say.
But now the prosecution entered new footage into evidence, 15 minutes of tape unedited, that shows what happened after the district.
After years of silence, Cassie finally spoke up, right where it mattered most, in court. Her testimony hit like a shockwave, exposing a side of the accused the public had never seen. She described a haunting journey that began at just 19, shaped by emotional manipulation and control. The courtroom fell silent. This wasn't just a case, it was a moment that could change legacies.
Cassie Ventura just got off the stand. We are right now in a lunch break. And let me tell you, this was the day that everyone had been waiting for. What would it be like when Cassie Ventura, who is the government's star witness, came face to face after 6 years of not seeing in person the defendant, Sean Diddy Combs? And when she spoke, she talked about how they first met. She described him as inexperienced and very naive, that he was her first adult relationship. Talks about hindsight for a lot of it as well. And one of the things that she focused on during the course of the conversation as well, that was really interesting, was she spoke about how he first introduced the concept of freak-offs to her. She said her stomach fell. She said, she was confused. She was nervous. She didn't know what it was going to mean, and that she was wanting to be a people pleaser. And because she loved him, she wanted to please him. But she said she didn't know what no would turn into, explaining at this point in time in the testimony acts of violence, or that there would be consequences if she defied him or ignored him in some way. She said that he was a polarizing yet charismatic person and very charming, and talked about blackmail material, the filmed encounters, and how he could lord those over her in the future and affect her.
On the fourth day of trial, tension peaked as Cassie faced intense cross-examination. The defense leaned on text messages from 2009, arguing that her actions back then contradict her current claims. As the pressure mounted, the line between past and present blurred, and the truth felt more urgent than ever.
Cassie Ventura is back on the stand today in day 4 of the Diddy trial. Cross-examination has started, and the defense team is already trying to lay the foundation, suggesting that she enjoyed these freak-offs. They're asking her questions and showing her text messages between her and Diddy saying how much she loves the freak-offs, LOL. Diddy asking when they can do a freak-off, and Cassie says whenever. At this point, this is the defense taking it lightly because, of course, as Cassie testified, that she would do anything to make Diddy happy, and that's exactly what this is showing. That's pretty much all it's been so far this morning, is them just laying the foundation of that's what it looks like. So as more comes out, I'll definitely let you guys know. The defense is expected to cross-examine Cassie at least for the remainder of the day today, and we'll see possibly into tomorrow. At this point, Cassie has asked the judge to take a break because the defense asked her to read some explicit text messages, and they took a 10-minute break. Remember, guys, this is barely day 4. Cassie is the first expert witness that came up. There is expected to be plenty more, and this case can last anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. I think so far the defense tactic is not so strong.
Today in court, we're seeing a lot of text messages back and forth from Cassie Ventura and Sean Combs. We're seeing some pictures of her from when she was allegedly assaulted by Sean Combs. They're laying out years of what they're calling physically, emotionally. I can see Cassie Ventura's husband and Cassie's brother sort of glaring at the Combs family, looking at Combs when they are showing those images of Cassie with the deep cut in her eyebrow. She said she used the drugs to numb herself because these freak-offs, again, were happening so regularly. So a lot of text messages were shown from 2010, 2013, 2017. There's a text message from 2017 that jurors saw where she says nothing good comes out of FOs, referring to freak-offs. There were messages where she seemingly wants to have a freak-off. Says things like, LOL, I can't wait. The prosecution asked her, why would you say that if you didn't really want to do it? And she explained that she said those things because she was fearful of Combs and because she wanted to keep the relationship going.
Day 4 deepened the drama. The legal team presented old texts and personal details, including Cassie's tattoos and former relationships, to cast their connection as consensual. Cassie, steady and composed, said those moments were shaped by confusion and coercion. What some called love, she called manipulation.
So in May of 2018, a man named Jonathan Odie opened fire at Donald Trump's Miami golf course and was shot and arrested by police. Now, Odie said that he was in the middle of a bipolar episode. That's where it gets interesting. Later, while being questioned by Florida authorities, Odie brought up something totally unexpected. He claimed that he'd been a slave for Sean Diddy Combs and Cassie Ventura. This video is courtesy of Real World Media. Take a look.
I had Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard lots of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a slave.
So at the time, Odie's story seemed too far-fetched to believe, but not anymore. And now, in an exclusive interview, Odie opens up to News Nation senior producer Allison Weiner about his claims, beginning with why he's agreed to talk now. Listen to this.
I felt bad because I got along well with her, and I think she's a decent person. And unfortunately, I had a suspicion that she was in a situation that she was in, but I wasn't sure. And now I understand what was going on in her life and what was happening. And him beating her up in the hotel shows me the type of individual he is, and confirms that everything that happened to me was true and correct and in line with his personality.
So speaking to us from a Miami jail now, here is how Odie says it all began for him.
I was a male Chippendale, a model Chippendale, you could say. And they called me for a show they called the agency that I work for to do a show. And then I went and did a show, and things led to him offering me more money to perform sexual acts. And that's it. That's how I basically got started. I get dressed like a police officer on the show, and they'll strip down. And then, they offer me some more money. They offered me some more money to do some extra stuff.
So Odie did get specific about the extra stuff that he says Diddy wanted from him, and these specifics were consistent with what he told law enforcement during the 2014 interrogation. Here is how he describes the atmosphere and how frequently it happened.
Candles, sensual atmosphere, lights off. He would sit in a corner in a sofa, watch and he'd say, he'd tell her, give her instructions what to do to me. Perform all baby oil, then he'd tell me rub baby on her, perform all
How many times did you have Cassie?
Probably like 15 sessions.
And what did you get paid? How much?
It would be like 800 each time. Each act. But sometimes they'll call me twice. I'll leave, and then 3 hours later, they'll call me, come back.
And so Odie claimed that the sessions were drug-fueled and that his concern for both Cassie and himself led him to get one of their sessions on video. Listen to what he says about that.
Why did you decide to record or video?
Because after she passed out, I decided to record that. So in the event anything worse happened, like if she died, or anybody died, it will be on camera, it will be on video, what happened. So I wouldn't be responsible for any of that.
So you were beginning to worry about her doing drugs. I mean, like about her dying or him dying or somebody dying from the drugs, and that you would be held responsible. So you brought a video. You brought your phone?
No, I had a USB video memory stick that like a spy shot, and I put it in a wallet on the table, in the living room table of the hotel I was staying at. I just filmed it, and had everything I described.
Cassie's testimony took another dark turn, recounting unsettling events at exclusive gatherings. The defense countered with a witness disputing her claims, but then a familiar name reappeared. Jonathan Oddie. Once dismissed, his allegations now echoed Cassie's, blurring the line between rumor and reality.
Sean Combs or her family. Her husband, Alex Fine, he is here in the courtroom, and yes, during what was yet another very uncomfortable moment during this trial was when we heard the names Ash, Islander, Skylar, Vin, and Brian. Those are some of the 13 escorts who Ventura says she and Combs hired for the so-called freak-offs. Ventura told jurors it was her job to hire the escorts, who she said has herself and Combs in Los Angeles, Vegas, New York, Miami, and as far away as Ibiza. She says the one thing she tried to avoid while interacting with the escorts was kissing them because she felt it was, quote, too intimate. It made her squeamish. Today we also saw more video from the hallway of the hotel in LA in 2016. She said she did not fight back, but because she had learned doing so in the past escalated the fight. It made it worse for herself. This time, though, when she said sometimes when she did fight back, she said Combs was surprised, adding he was shocked and he would get angry and frustrated. At one point in that video, we see Ventura in a hoodie with her arm up and out as Combs walked towards her. Ventura remembers Combs saying she couldn't leave. She says this was in the middle of a freak-off, that a male escort was in their hotel room. During this exchange, Ventura says Combs hit her in the face. Jurors were shown a picture of the 38-year-old with a fat lip and sunglasses she said she was wearing because she was hiding a black eye. Ventura left the hotel, and what followed was a string of frantic text messages from Combs to Ventura. At one point, she replied, quote, "You are sick to think it is okay to do what you've done. Please stay away from me." To which Combs wrote, "If you don't pick up, you'll never hear my voice again." As far as the freak-offs, Ventura says Combs texted her saying, quote, "You know we have to have a proper FO without no K." That says she meant having a freak-off without the drug ketamine. Ventura today this morning on the stand said that after those so-called freak-offs that her and Combs would get IV fluids, massages, food, and often take more drugs.
But now the prosecution entered new footage into evidence, 15 minutes of tape unedited, that shows what happened after the disturbing attack. The hotel security guard is seen here talking to Diddy, still wrapped in the white towel. Cassie follows both men back to the room, then Cassie leaves, the security guard behind her.
Cassie says that when she finally did leave the hotel back to her own apartment.
CNN entertainment correspondent Elizabeth Wagmeister, who broke the news about the shocking tape a year ago, was in the courtroom today.
She goes home, her friend sees her battered face, and her friend calls the cops. They question her, but ultimately she does not say Diddy's name. Why didn't she say his name? Because she essentially didn't want to ruin his life.
And Cassie revealed on her 29th birthday, Diddy actually forced her to participate in a freak-off. She also one time overdosed on the drug GHB in the Hamptons. She eventually woke up naked in the shower with a male escort and Diddy freaking out. Their intense relationship also took its toll in Cannes in 2012. They attended the premiere of Killing Them Softly, but now we know what happened before they hit the carpet.
During her testimony, she explained that she was on a yacht with Diddy, and they got in a fight, so Diddy kicked her off of the yacht. She left. She didn't have her stuff with her. She didn't even have her passport with her. When they fly home from Cannes, France, Cassie says they were still in a fight, and then he takes out a device and he shows her videos of the freak offs.
Cassie also told the jury after they broke up in 2018 he would blackmail her, threatening to expose her. Cassie saying on the stand, "It's horrible and disgusting. No one should do that to anyone." And the judge began to add special privacy screens inside the courtroom before explicit material was displayed. We now know Cassie provided those images from her phone to prosecutors.
Sean Combs and Cassie Ventura have not made eye contact with each other once. This day in court was actually the first time they have seen each other in more than 6 years. Of course, when they ended things, now we know things could not have ended worse. At one point, there was actually a brief break during the testimony, and she turned her back in the witness box away from Diddy. The cross-examination of Cassie is going to be brutal. That's just the way it is. In these cases, the defense's job is quite literally to pick apart their story and poke holes in their story.
The courtroom held its breath as Cassie addressed the infamous hotel footage, the video that sparked years of speculation. Her account peeled back the surface, revealing a painful and emotional backstory that gave new weight to what had once been silent speculation.
I think if people didn't believe her in the first 2 days, they probably do now.
Jurors were shown photos from the freak-off videos, which Ventura claims Combs would regularly threaten to publicize, saying she felt trapped and didn't want to make him angry.
Because she has been so authentic, and she says a lot of things that victims of domestic violence often say, like, "I loved him."
Ventura testified Combs was violent towards employees as well, including dragging his assistant named Mia out of her bed after refusing to give up her phone, breaking down in tears. She detailed going to rehab and trauma therapy, saying she was "I couldn't take the pain that I was in anymore, and so I just tried to walk out the front door into traffic, and my husband would not let me." Ventura also detailing her brief relationship with rapper Kid Cudi in 2011, telling the court upon learning of their relationship, Combs told her he was going to hurt both of them and have Cudi's car blown up. Testimony Somerville believes doesn't speak to the exact charges he's facing.
Why they would want to expose that information about her relationship and why the judge is allowing it, because us from the outside looking in, it seems like it's irrelevant.
Now, Ventura also testifying Combs after their breakup in 2018, and also confirmed for the first time that she settled a civil suit with Combs for $20 million in 2023.
Cassie took the stand again, eyes fixed forward. She named individuals allegedly recruited for private events, backed by a former assistant's testimony from cities like Las Vegas and Miami. Revisiting the 2016 hotel incident, Cassie explained how fear kept her silent. Courtroom footage showed her hiding behind sunglasses. She said they masked visible distress. Messages sent afterward were read aloud, gifts, apologies, and pressure to move on.
Breaking down in tears at points as she recounted incidents from her more than a decade-long relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. She mentioned one specific episode in 2018, which happened after the end of her relationship with Combs, when she was already in a new relationship with Alex Fine, the man who would become her husband and father to her children. She said she went to a Malibu, California restaurant with Combs for what she thought would be, in her words, a closure conversation. She said he seemed happy and playful, and he offered to drive her home. When they got back to her apartment, she said he came in after her and on her living room floor. And the courtroom fell completely silent as the jury was shown still images from those so-called freak-offs, the drug-fueled parties, in which Cassie alleges that Combs forced her to take drugs and have with male Asked why she decided to testify against Combs in this criminal case, Cassie said that she simply couldn't carry the guilt and the shame anymore. She said what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. She also confirmed that she'd reached a $20 million settlement in her civil lawsuit against Sean Combs. Her direct examination now complete. The cross-examination will continue. Sean Diddy Combs denies all the charges against him.
You guys really sat through that whole case and kept your spirits high. I really like that for y'all. Y'all look great. Keep your spirits up, y'all. You're doing great. And y'all are eating it. Y'all look good.
Step to the side, please.
Y'all are beautiful. Keep smiling. Keep your spirits up.
How you guys feeling? How do you go today? Step to the side, please.
They did their thing in there.
How was your father today? Congratulations to NYU, Chad. Give us a little space. Give us a little space. Give us a little space. Step to the side, please. Excuse me. Watch off. Give us a little space, please. Come on, give us a little space.
Shocking new footage surfaced. A calm conversation with a security guard after the hotel incident. But Cassie told a chilling backstory, trapped without her passport, silenced by threats involving private recordings. Her voice trembled as she described the moment she realized escape wasn't an option.